Hey guys, Mr. Decker here. We're back for another lesson. This time we're in Chapter 2 of the Physical Computing Unit. And the first lesson in Chapter 2 is Lesson 10, Arrays and Color LEDs. For this video, we're going to work through bubbles 1 through 6. And then for my next video, we'll pick up for 7 through, I think it's 14? Yeah, 14. Okay, so let's get started here. We've got a video to watch. Let me yank myself out of the way.
Hi, my name is Erica Gomez, and I'm a software development manager at Amazon. I really like it because I get to develop more junior engineers and help them grow in their careers and find the right opportunities for them. And I have to think more strategically as opposed to tactically. When you're planning out your day, brainstorming ideas for a project, or choosing songs for a party, how do you keep track of all your activities, ideas, or songs? You probably write them down in a list. Lists help us stay organized by ordering all the relevant pieces of information, one after the other, in a single place. The same principle applies when we write programs that include many related pieces of information. Variables are useful for keeping track of a single piece of information, but as we collect more and more information, keeping the variables organized can be complicated. For example, what if you wanted to keep track of everybody's name in class or an entire school? It's impractical to create hundreds or thousands of individual variables, and impossible if you don't know how many items should be tracked ahead of time. In JavaScript, we can keep track of all these things by using an array. An array is an ordered collection of items. You can think of an array as a row of numbered boxes. Each box can have one item in it. Arrays can hold all types of data: numbers, strings, and even other arrays. Let's see how you could use an array to keep track of the names of people in a group. In JavaScript, an array of strings looks like this. Notice that all the items in the array are separated by commas, and the entire array is in brackets. Just like how you can assign a number or a string to a variable, like var x gets 5, you can also assign an array to a variable to use it later, like this. Every time you make a new array, you'll want to assign it to a variable so that you can find it again. Your array can be as long as you want. Just use the arrow keys on the side of the block to make it longer or shorter. To access an individual item from your array, write out the name of the array and the number of the box you want to access, like this. This means give me the item in the list names sitting in slot number 2. The official term for slot number 2 is index. You might have noticed that the first index in the array is 0. In programming, we usually start counting at 0, which means that names at index 0 is the first item of the array, and names at index 2 is actually the third item in the array. When your program runs, the computer will look up the current value that lives at the given index of the array, just like the computer looks up the current value of a variable. Arrays are a very powerful way to write programs that use large amounts of data. They open the door for us to write programs that use and process lots and lots of information, especially when we don't know ahead of time just how much information needs to be stored. Let's try them out.
All right. Whoop. Trying to get out of the video. Let me out. Let me out. There we go. All right. 1 second, and I'll be right back with you. And we're back. So let's jump to the next bubble. Continue, and we're looking at bubble 2 here. Now on bubble 2, we've got a prediction to make. It says, the code below will display 4 things on the screen. What do you think they will be? So on line 1, we've got an array, right? We've got this numbers list, gets 40 2, 18, 100, 30, 48, 15, 62. And reading arrays is kind of interesting. You start in programming counting at 0. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we've got set property first. So here's first, second, third, and fourth. So first, second, third, and fourth. So first text is going to be numbers list 3. Here's our numbers list array. And it's in these brackets. And this is in brackets. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So the first thing that shows up here will be 100. For second, it will be 40. For third, it says 4 plus 2. So we go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then adding 2 more, 5, 6. So right here, it's going to be 15. And then set property fourth text to numbers list 100. Well, this array doesn't go to 100. So this will actually be kind of like a little bit of an error. And right here, it'll probably still just say fourth. So we run it after putting our answer in. 140, 15, fourth, like I predicted. So warning, line 5, set property value, parameters value undefined is not a UI string. So right here is our error because this array doesn't go all the way to 100. It just goes to 7. So finish, continue. We're on bubble 3 now. And let's make sure we get this right. So bubble 3. All right, let me version history mine. And I also am going to click show blocks. Okay. So on this one, the starter code has been provided and it creates a list called colors. Here's our list called colors and uses it to set the colors of the rectangles on the screen. Unfortunately, the colors are out of order. Do this. Change the index numbers inside each selection block to make the rainbow appear as in the picture on the right. All right, we can do that. So when we run it right now, it starts with green, then goes to yellow, then red, then orange, then purple, then blue. So we want to get it into this order that we see up here. So let's do that. So we start with red, and red in our sequence starts at 0, 1, 2. So we're going to change this to a 2. Oh, let me reset this. And then next in the sequence is orange, and that should be 1 here. 0, 1. And then yellow is the next one, and that's the last one in the array, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And oh, it tells you right here which one you're going for. So green is next. Let's just do this so we can see the whole thing. All right, so green being next, 0, 1, 2, 3 for green. And then blue is 4 in the array, and purple is 0. So when I run it, now it's in the correct order. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. And while these are buttons, I guess, they don't take me anywhere. But that's what it wanted me to do. Finish. And let's continue on to bubble 4. And I'm going to version history mine. All right, so for this one, it says accessing items in an array. This program uses the circuit playground. It creates an array of the days of the week. When the left button is pressed, it displays the day as Tuesday. Do this. Add code that will display the day as Thursday when the right button is pressed. So let's try this out. So let's run it. I've got my little circuit playground here. let's hold it correctly, and let's see what we can do with this. So it says button L down sets the day label text to days 1, Tuesday, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 for Sunday. So it said it wants us to create code that will display a day as Thursday. So let's grab another onboard event. We're going to have this one be button R. Down, that's fine. And then we're going to set the property. And we're setting the property of day label. We're changing its text to say something. And we're going to go into variables and grab this list block and plop that here. We need to use that variable name, days, and then Thursday, where's that in the sequence? 0, 1, 2, 3. So now when we run our program, we should get Tuesday when I hit this button and Thursday when I hit that button. Awesome. That's pretty cut and dry, pretty simple stuff. Let's move on to the next one. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and version history this. I'm going to show blocks. All right. You can also select a random element in the list by using the random number block instead of an index. This program selects a random icon from a list and displays it on the screen when the left button is pressed. Right now, the icons are always blue. Do this. Add code that will select a random color from the list and use that as the icon color. Okay. So we're going to add code that selects a random color from the list and use that as the icon color. All right, so on our first line here, we've got icons gets these different options here. So when we run it and we hit button L, it gives me a different icon each time from this list, but it's not using this colors array yet. So let's fix that. So in this set property here, we're going to build it out similar to the way this looks. So we're going to go into variables, because right now it's making it blue every time. We want that icon color to change to a random one each time off of this array. So list, and we're going to use the colors list. And inside these brackets, I want to use a random number block. So I'm going to go into my math drawer, grab a random number, put that there, 0, 1, 2, 3. So 0 to 3, and reset run. And now every time I get an icon to come up, it's going to be a different color. Every time I press button L. Let's see. Hitting button L, proof. All right. Let's go to bubble 6, the last bubble for this video. All right, on bubble 6, let's version history this. And let's show blocks. All right. Using variables. This program is like the last one, but the icons should always match the colors: red heart, yellow star, green leaf, and blue water. You can do this using the variable myIndex, which will store the value of a random number so that it can be used to get the icon and the color from the same place on each list. Do this. It says change the code so that both the icon and its color are chosen using the myIndex variable. Okay. So the way this is built right now, we've got icons, colors, and then a new variable called myIndex. Okay, and then down here we're saying myIndex gets random number between 0 and 3. Okay. How many were there on this top one? 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So both are using So I think we're going to have to call on icons and colors, icons here, colors here. And then instead of putting like a random number block in that, I think we're going to need to put myIndex. So let's tie them both to myIndex. So list. This one's for the icons. This one's for the colors. And then instead of using a random number block or signifying I want this, that, or the other, I'm going to tie this to my index and making sure I'm capitalizing the I using camel case here. And the way that works is we've already told the computer that my index gets a random number between 0 and 3. Well, both of these arrays are between 0 and 3. 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. Uh-oh. Control Z. There we go. Fix that problem. Control Z is your friend. That's your undo button with code.org. I use that a lot. So now we're saying on board event that you, on the event that you hit button L and press that down, we're reminding the computer that or telling the computer rather, calling this my index variable here gets random number between 0 and 3. Icons and colors, we're using this variable and this variable. And then we're using the my index variable here to say, okay, this is going to be a random number between 0 and 3, and this one's going to be a random number between 0 and 3. But it's going to choose the number one time. So every time it chooses, let's say 0, then it's going to choose the heart and it's going to be red. Every time it chooses 1 from this random number, it's going to be a star and yellow. Every time it chooses a leaf from that random number list, it's going to be a leaf and green. And then every time it chooses the this icon, it's going to be blue because they're in the sequence that you want them to be. If you switched these around, it wouldn't work the way it's intended. So let's hit the button. Oh. Why am I not getting results right now? Let me refresh this and see if that's the problem. Sometimes you have to do a little bit of troubleshooting. Run. Yeah, there we go. It was just a refresh problem. So whenever that happens to you, you know to just refresh. So every time I hit the button, there's a red heart. There's the green leaf. Red heart again. Blue water. Red heart. Blue water. Red heart. Green leaf. Red heart. There's a yellow star finally. That took a minute longer than it needed to, but there you go. We've tested it and it all works correctly. All right, that's it for this video. I'll be back with the next one. Hope you are enjoying yourselves with this programming lesson.